I'm going to share with you I can't even talk today. I'm going to share with you how I was able to make progress every day in terms of my career as a producer, even with a full-time job. I feel like a lot of producers are just in that space where you're trying to balance both, right? You have the full-time job, and then you also have your music career and business that you're building until it eventually overtakes the job, the day job, or the night job, depending on which shift you work. So I'm going to share with you tips that help me make progress every day. The first thing I did was took a step back and took inventory of the time I had in a day and what I did every single day, from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. What did that look like? What was I doing for each hour? And you gotta see where your time is going before you can manage it, right? So once I did that, I pretty much trimmed the fat. And I kind of started this even like before I graduated college, man. I just started trimming fat, man. I sold my Xbox, I sold the TV. I just went hardcore, man. The only thing I had in my little studio apartment before I moved to Atlanta was literally my studio setup. So if I got bored, there's only 3 things I can do: sleep, play on my phone, or go make music. That was it, man. So it just kind of took away the distractions and things like that. And that was like super helpful for me, because yeah, man, it just really allowed me to dial in on the thing that I said I wanted to do. So many people say, oh, I want to do music full time, blah, blah, blah. But then they spend like 7 hours doing nothing related to music. So I did that. Another thing I did was I knew, okay, I have a commute. I'm going to be in the car for at least, 30 minutes to an hour just driving, getting to work. So what can I do during that time? I have 3 options. I can do nothing, listen to nothing. That's option 1. Option 2, I can listen to music. Option 3, I can listen to educational content that will help push me forward and help me do what I'm trying to do in terms of music. So what I would do is start listening to podcasts, music business podcasts. Shout out to the Music Is My Business podcast. I would listen to, one trick I would do, especially with sync licensing, is I would listen to interviews of music supervisors and like podcast episodes and YouTube videos, because what I found is a lot of times they tell you exactly how they like to receive music, what kind of music they like to specialize in, where they look for music, and things not to do when you reach out to them. So many cheat codes that they literally just tell you in the interview. So I got a lot of insight from that. One actually ended up turning into a placement because I was listening to an interview for a music supervisor, ended up getting their contact information. And because I listened to that podcast, I knew exactly how they like to receive music, what music they specialize in. So by the time I pitched, it was perfect. It worked out, ended up turning into a placement on Netflix's Nappily Ever After. So that was a side story. But so I did that. I was just like, yo, total time in the car is going to be a decent chunk of time. Before I even get back home, I've made progress and I've done research and learned something that can help push my production business forward. So now while I'm at work, what time do I have? Extra time I have at work, breaks, lunch. So instead of doing the typical sitting around, eating with everybody, listening to the latest workplace gossip, I would pack my lunch. I would go to the car. Sometimes I would just sit wherever to eat lunch. But I wasn't listening to the gossip. I was doing research, sending emails. Shoot, I took meetings during some lunch breaks. Hop on a call with a publisher. I would research different sync licensing companies I can pitch my music to. Just doing research and reach out basically would be what I would do during my lunches and my breaks. Again, by the time I got home, I already knew, okay, I saved a few companies that I had come across while at work. Let me do some deeper research and, pitch some music, see what's good. So by the time I got home, I already had a game plan. By the time I actually sat down in front of my computer. So that was at work, to work, from work, boom. Then once I got home, eat dinner, spend time with the wife, kids. I had a few more hours at the end of my day that I could put towards music, and that would be the time that I would just focus on production. At one time I kind of split my days up to where, Monday through Wednesday would just be production, and then Thursday we would kind of structure all the ideas out or do mixing, and then we have a day for admin, metadata, submitting, things like that. I also hired a virtual assistant to help me with just uploads and admin stuff, so that again I could leverage somebody else's time while I focused on doing what I did best, which is just producing the music. So like by the end of the week, I only had like small amounts of time every day, but because I optimized those small amounts of time, by the end of the week I've gotten like a chunk of time and a chunk of work done, where most people just be like, I don't have that much time, I'm tired after work. Like, bro, take a power nap and wake up and get to work. Like, I mean, you're tired. You gonna have to do it tired. If you really, really want to make this happen, you gonna have to be sleepy, bro. You like, figure it out. Get you some coffee or something. And then I had my Saturdays and my Sundays. That's when I would get a larger chunk of work done, and that was just like, boom, icing on the cake, because I've already been productive. And what that helped me do is just really become disciplined. I've been on like every side of this in terms of like positioning between being the gigging musician full time. So I was a musician full time, just gigging, doing music. During that time, I wasted a lot of time because I didn't have that discipline that I developed when I was working and trying to balance music. I was waking up late, noon, afternoon, staying up late. I didn't have a structure to my day. It would just kind of be like, okay, if I'm inspired, blah, blah, blah. There was no structure, man. So then I transitioned into balancing full-time job and doing music. That gave me a little more discipline, because now my time is limited. So I got to make better use of that time. And then once I experienced that limited time, I was like, yo, when I go full-time again, I'm going to manage that time a lot better, because I could have gotten way more done when I was a full-time gigging musician than, I would have gotten way more done if I just would have managed my time better. So, so those are things that I did. And then I've also now I'm back full-time music, and I manage my time better because of the discipline that I developed when I was balancing both, and having seen what it looked like when I wasn't managing my time. So now that I got more of my time back as a full-time producer, now I was able to like just exponentially increase the income I was getting even at my full-time job, because now I know, okay, I know how to leverage a lot of different things. I know how to leverage other people's time. I know how to leverage systems and technology, and I know how to not just waste a bunch of time fooling around. So so it's important, man, to to recognize what time you do have and what you're doing with that time. And then it's important to figure out and come up with a consistent way to to manage that time so that you're not wasting it, man. So if you want a Notion template, I created actually a Notion template that will help you manage your time. It's my Sync Producer time management guide. I'll share the link in the description. I'll also pin it in the comments. But if you want to learn how to to manage your time, optimize it, how to customize your day that fits you so that you can take control of your time and achieve your goals, definitely download my Sync Producer time management guide. It's a game changer. It's going to walk you through the steps on doing exactly what I just shared here, because it's important. It's important if you want to get to the next level and you want to increase your income on the music side, so that ultimately that can replace the day job. If that's your goal, everybody's goal is different. You may be on music just because you like making music, or you may just want to create retirement income, whatever your goal is. But no matter what your goal is, time management is going to be key in anything so that you can actually reach those goals. So download that. I'll leave a link in the description as well as the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.